Salacious Salt, what are you doing here? You said, oh man, I already shut down my computer. I was like, you know what? Let's call it a weekend. But then I saw your comment. I should have logged out on my phone. That's the guys. Everybody follow me. He says, I think it's funny how he focused on what the men said when what the lady said, I don't know her name. Her name is Azar. I can't remember her first name. Her last name is Azar. Was way more interesting. She literally said PS Plus will be getting a price hike and more games will be going to PC quicker. Go back and watch her very brief participation at the end when she literally said all this. I said, don't be pulling my legs, man. Before I listened to it, and she didn't say price increase, but she literally said price revision. There's only one way that this company is going to revise their prices, and that's up. So technically, PlayStation Plus is going to be eating that premium model. The one that leaked over here, where they said Sony Impact premium sales model is the central approach. Now, here's the thing I've been seeing the last few days. On Twitter, a lot of these talking heads, news outlets, everybody is telling us that, look out, there's a Game Pass price increase coming. Very soon, you're going to see a Game Pass increase coming. Now, whether or not there's a Game Pass price increase coming, we've all talked about what the potential possibilities and stuff would be. You can easily assess what Xbox is giving you compared to what it is you're paying for. I think the last person I saw was maybe it wasn't Tom Warren. It was it Tom Henderson? Yeah, I think it may have been Tom Henderson that I saw the last time on. Let it not be that I'm losing my mind. Okay, here, Tom Henderson. Let's go to his page. View profile. Let's go. I remember, there it is. Xbox Game Pass could be getting another price increase soon. Do you see what's going on? Now, did Mrs. Azar say anything about a PlayStation Plus price increase? Let's listen to what she says.
How do you expect the financial profile of your business to evolve over the long term?
So again, the business fundamentals are strong, and we expect this to continue across many key areas. First, strong sales growth driven by highly engaged and multi-generation MAU. And then an increase in the PS Plus.
So growth in MAU, bam. Increase in the PS Plus.
Spoke about that, increase in PS Plus revenue due to the shift to the higher tier and also our price revision.
Woo. Due to the shift in the higher tier, so basically more gamers moving from basic PS Plus to the PS Plus Essential to Premium and extra, whatever the other one is called. And she said price revision. Listen to it again.
And multi-generation MAU. And then an increase in the PS Plus, we spoke about that, increase in PS Plus revenue due to the shift to the higher tier and also our price revision. And then on the first part...
Let's keep listening. Let's find out if Salacious Salt is on the money with the PC games releases.
Live services becoming more consistent, predictable, and growing revenue stream. And also with the continued strength and reliable delivery of our tentpole titles, incremental revenue also generated by going off console with our first-party IP. And finally...
Now, I didn't hear going to PC earlier. However, what I heard has put a death knell in those PlayStation talking head arguments that the whole going to PC is additive. They don't really need it. No, they need it. It's gonna be a big piece of their revenue. How did I miss this part? I think I probably zoned out. Hold on.
So with the continued strength and reliable delivery of our tentpole titles, incremental revenue also generated by going off console with our first-party IP. And finally, the strict cost management and the operational excellence we have in place. All of these are ongoing trends that we will, of course, continue to monitor and improve everywhere we can. So I do expect these trends to continue going forward.
Okay. Let's go ahead and take some notes. This is interesting stuff, ladies and gentlemen. So from what we've just heard, and this lady is a finance boss in terms of, the company. Let me use a marker that we can see. So number one, strong sales. That's how she's said that she's gonna go ahead and, you know, well, her targets anyways, via strong sales, number one. Number two, price revision. I am going to cite very, very carefully because somebody may say, oh, you're misconstruing what's being said. Price revision. And anybody who knows what's going to go, what's, you know, with these subscription services is that their prices are going to be revised one direction. Because again, from a logical standpoint, and I have to say this, even though, you know, we all know, but I just, you know, you got to say this for anybody who says, oh, you're spreading fake news. She's being questioned, or at least they're questioning her department on how she intends to grow a specific segment. And growth equal line go up, right? She also says by incremental additive revenue, if I'm correct, from going off console. She didn't even specifically say PC, but off console, which we've already seen with their Nintendo initiative. So Nintendo and PC. Again, we'll take a very close look at this because this is actually very important that this is nailed down right.
All of these are ongoing trends that
Did he ask her another question here?
we will, of course, continue to monitor and improve everywhere we can. So I do expect these trends to continue going forward.
So in closing, I'd like to turn to Nishino-san.
Okay.
As the new sole CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, what keeps you up at night? And conversely,
Xbox.
what
I'm sorry.
gets you the most excited?
For over 30 years, we have been pushing the boundaries of play, and my job is to make sure we continue this journey.
Nishino-san,
Well,
great, man,
Z,
but
our
I want to
ongoing
hear
rate
what she said
assistant,
again.
predictors and PS key areas. First, strong sales growth
Okay.
driven by highly engaged and multi-generation MEU.
Okay.
And then an increase in the PS Plus, we spoke about that, increase in PS Plus revenue due to the shift to the higher tier.
Okay.
And also our price revision.
Okay.
And then on the first party live services, becoming more consistent,
Okay, so live
predictable,
service.
and growing revenue stream.
Okay.
And also with the continued strength and reliable delivery of our tentpole titles, incremental revenue also generated by going off console with our first party IP.
Okay. So again, Mr. Host is saying, yeah, you know, there's no need for us to change our strategy. And I was like laughing, going, bro, the strategy already changed. Like it's changed a long time ago. We're no longer in the same conversation anymore. Your games will come to PC. PlayStation users, I've been telling you that your games will show up on PC. PlayStation needs the revenue. This is not a matter of some console war or whatever it is. PlayStation just needs to make money. And they found out that they can make money on PC. Helldivers 2 is doing great. I've seen a lot of people talking about The Witcher 3 and blah, 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 blah. You know, oh, The Witcher 3, The Witcher 4. I was going to make a video on it, but I said, you know what? Let me just let these people talk. Digital Foundry's Alex, I think that's his name. He did an interview with the developers at CD Projekt Red. I thought, you know, let me just make that a segue for this particular conversation. Let me go ahead and just basically have these guys understand that a lot of what it is that they, you know, do is so funny because it almost wants to forget about the, you know, the money side, right? And in this interview, there's a piece where he asks about the Series S. He asks about a few things. A lot of people jumped out there, started saying, oh, the Series S, they're not going to be able to get the, you know, the game to 60 FPS on the Series S and blah, 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 blah. Ladies and gentlemen, these guys will not be able to survive the sales potential that they need without a console like the Series X and S. I don't care what anybody says. There are majority of gamers these days that are not going to buy games, not going to buy The Witcher, by the way. And so they would be happy for every and anyone from a mathematical perspective to buy their game. I saw Peter Ovio running around on Twitter saying that the PS5 is a lead development console for The Witcher 4. And I was thinking to myself, what is going on here? They already have development kits for all the consoles. Why would they go ahead and start developing for one and not develop for the other simultaneously? Basically the same development, because again, they're using a video game engine that I'm actually well acquainted with, Unreal Engine 5. Please, y'all stop this strange disparaging of Xbox that makes you look like you absolutely don't know what's going on. This is a really good informative interview. It's a good way for people to learn what goes into game development. But I was very shocked when the gentleman who was interviewing them asked the question about the Series S. And I thought to myself, really? These guys know that they are worth their salt. They've accomplished way more on less powerful hardware than the Series S. And the gentleman there said, it's going to be challenging to get the game to 60 FPS on the Series S. But that does not mean that they're not going to be able to make their game run on the Series S. Go watch their GDC on how they made the Blood and Wine DLC for The Witcher 3 on the PS4. They talk about how they were able to budget, calculate, and make sure that they met every single metric in terms of expanding the game. In fact, you know what's funny? In this video, right, where I stopped, they were talking about some of the things that they wanted to make sure that they could do. That's why they decided their goals. In fact, you can see their goals aligned from that GDC back in the day. And one of them is basically room to grow gameplay features. Look at it on the bottom. They want to just be able to do that. That's why they pretty much decided that, this is what it is that they want to do with this engine. So I've been following a lot of developers and listening to them. People now, I'm glad Digital Foundry is now doing these interviews, because these kinds of content pieces have been on the internet for years. You can go back to your favorite video game and you'll find something of an interview from a technical perspective on how they got their games to run on the hardware. Everybody just wants to wake up now because there's some Series S. This is CD Projekt Red, by the way, that just ported Cyberpunk 2077 to the Nintendo Switch 2. Please. They need to be able to do it because they need the sales. The Witcher 4, they're probably praying for 100 million in sales. And not everybody on the PlayStation 5 is going to buy The Witcher 4. Stop it. There are more Call of Duty players on the PlayStation 4 dedicated than almost any other game, because they'll buy a Call of Duty game every year. If they've been buying a Call of Duty game every year for 5 years straight, they've probably bought more Call of Duty games than many other of the games that have been coming out. So CD Projekt Red is going to need Xbox as well. They will make that game run on the Series S. They've got no choice. So again, all of this talk right here about PC and the consoles, and even PlayStation themselves need PC, how much more would CD Projekt Red need Xbox and PC and PlayStation and everybody else? Y'all are playing with fire thinking that these devs don't want to make money. But this is very interesting. So Delicious Salt, shout out to you for pointing these things out for me to go take a look at. This is very, very interesting at the end of the day. Thanks. Talk to me in the comment section. Appreciate y'all so much. Peace out.